What's up guys, Los here for Gas Gears and Garage. Today we're going to be tackling restoring or salvaging an actual piece from the interior. We're talking about a vinyl piece on the car. As you know, if you guys have been doing a restoration job, a lot of these things can cost a pretty penny over time, and we don't want to really expend all our money on here. Luckily, I've done some research and there's an actual product that's very good for this, and it's Duplicolor. Okay, Duplicolor has a vinyl and fabric paint along with an actual grease and wax remover. So what we're gonna do first is we're gonna remove all the debris, all the gunk that might have settled here over the years on the vinyl, and then we're gonna go ahead and paint it with the Duplicolor. In this case, I've chosen black because I'm doing the interior of the car black. And what I've done is, this is from a Corvette C4 interior. This is the center console panel, the armrest, and basically I've just taken a just removed it off the side here. It's using 10mm bolt, and I've just popped it off. And what I'm going to do first, I'm going to use this as my test platform. Then I'm going to move on to the doors, the door panels themselves, and some of the interior. So let's take a closer look. All right, folks. So here we are. We're going to start the process of cleaning this. We got to prep the surface of this thing. As you can see, there's a lot of wear in here. There's just a lot of some old gunk and all this thing. And what we need to do is we need to make sure that this stuff is nice and clean, debris free. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is, I bought a couple of these things because I'm doing the entire interior, and one of the things with doing the interior is I wanted to make sure I had enough. So first things first, directions call for a slightly damp cloth. Okay, I'm going to take this Duplicolor here, grease and wax remover. I'm going to dab some of this on a clean cloth. Okay, that's what the other thing you want to make sure. You want to put this on a clean cloth, and you want to start cleaning. Okay, you're going to start seeing some of these things come off, and it's going to start to look even better now than before. But again, what we're doing here is we're prepping the surface because we really want to make sure that this thing adheres. I mean, take a look at that. I mean, you know, years of buildup. And so what we're going to do is we're going to really clean this thoroughly. Okay, and make sure that there's nothing left on here, nothing to question, and that this surface is going to be nice and primed for the paint. One of the things you want to keep in mind as well, the reason why I went with Duplicolor is because they already have a primer in the paint itself, so it's going to help to adhere to this vinyl surface. So we want to make sure we do this nice and thorough. Again, you know, apply and use some of this stuff. Use gloves. This stuff is pretty strong, and you know, you don't want to dry your hands or kind of do any other kind of you know, abrasive to your hand, your direct skin. So you want to make sure you use your gloves, and make sure that when you're done cleaning the surface, we're going to wipe it with a soft, like lint-free cloth. Okay, so let me get to this and finish this up, and we'll start the. So now, if you notice, we went ahead and cleaned this off. We did a very thorough cleaning to this. This was the rag before. As you can see, there was a lot of gunk, a lot of buildup, a lot of stuff, and basically the grease and wax remover worked great. So now comes the actual painting process. So I'm using this Duplicolor vinyl and fabric painter or paint for this right here. One of the things to keep in mind as well is you want to make sure this is all cleaned off with a lint-free cloth. So you want to make sure that there's nothing on there, because it would here. You want to make sure also that you are in a nice ventilated area, and that you also don't have a lot of wind or anything like that going on. So you don't want anything to stick to this. So the directions for this call for a vigorous shake. Okay, you want to make sure you prep it. I've already shaken this can beforehand, and what you're going to do is you're going to want to spray in even rows, okay, about 6 to 10 inches away. Okay, so you want to spray about 6 to 10 inches away. The general rule of thumb here is light and frequent, if that's what you want. You don't want to go ahead and just bombard everything here. You want to do light and frequent. So we're going to go ahead and start this process. I've cleared everything out, and we're going to start in simple rows here. Okay, do a test spray there. Okay, and you notice it does spray this. Another thing you want to keep in mind is I actually did a painter's tape here so that the metal wouldn't get painted. This is not made for metal, so I want to make sure I don't have any problems with that later. And this is going to spray in an actual if you notice here, it's going to spray kind of like in a row, in a line format. So you want to, however you're spraying, you want to go this way versus that way. So you want to go the length of it, okay? And we want to do nice even sprays. All right, if you see here, shaking in between. Okay, and if you've ever done this kind of a paint job, you'll know that this is really about patience, okay? And when you're gonna do this, you wanna make sure that it's tacky. It's actually tacky to the touch when we go ahead and do this. And I'm just gonna apply some more layers now as time goes on. I'm gonna wait for this to dry, and then I'm gonna come back and keep reapplying, and I'll show you the finished product in just a second. Okay, so as you've seen here, we just completed the entire paint job of this center console, and I've got to tell you, I'm very, very satisfied with the results. I mean, take a look at this thing. I mean, this thing is just glossing. Look at that gloss, that sheen. I mean, this thing is absolutely beautiful. You saw the color before, it just looked kind of tired. It didn't look great, and a little bit of paint, a little bit of the grease and wax remover, and we've got a brand new console. So really one of the things to consider when you're salvaging your whatever you can in a restoration job is saving that money for the horsepower end of the deal, right? So that's really where we want our money to go. We don't want to basically blow our budget on just doing the interior. So again, what I ended up using was the Duplicolor vinyl and fabric. Prior to that, in the prep process, I used the grease and wax remover, and if you'll see here, I mean, this thing is absolutely fantastic. So I've got a brand new center console. I basically just pocketed 40 bucks at least on this piece alone, and so now on the next videos I'm going to show you how to do the door panels.